Yeah. Yeah. Hello there, babe. She's always first. Yeah, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose Live Edition. Live today from Red Morton Park. This is episode number 1229. That's right, episode number 1229. And today's topic is I'm tired of the drama. Aren't you? I'm tired of the drama, aren't you? Today we're going to have a discussion on how much of a time suck drama is, especially on social media like YouTube, right? And what we're really trying to accomplish here at the GNA, what we're really trying to help people overcome is the need to get sucked into online drama. Online drama has been the big thing for the last, I'd probably say, 5 to 10 years, because about 10 years ago is when live streaming really started getting big on the internet, and these social media platforms started to really expand with more features and all that, right? You can do a lot more now on social media than you could about 20 to 25 years ago when it first came out, back in the MySpace days. And then Facebook is around 20 years old. Same with YouTube. Same with, all the other social media platforms, right? And I got to tell you, it just becomes something that will consume you if you allow it to. I've never ever allowed drama to consume me. I've always been just trying to correct the record. Like, for me, it's never been about drama, and that's where a lot of people get a misconception that if you're responding to someone that's attacking you on the internet, that you're feeding into drama. No, you could simply be correcting the record, because whoever it may be that's attacking you could be defaming your character, and that could be affecting you from growing. And other people that come across your content through these defamatory creators, they can get the wrong idea about you, right? GLM, how are you doing? Welcome. Welcome again to my lovely lady Dawn. And my lovely lady Dawn says, hey, GLM. So, today, I just want to make this a very cool, calm, and collected stream. And whoever wants to participate here and rid themselves of drama, you're more than welcome to be here. Now, you can come here and share with us what's going on with you, whether it's on YouTube, another social media platform, or in the real world. We want you to be able to come here and tell us what's bothering you, what's affecting you, and how can we help you overcome the need of having to constantly respond to nonsense on the internet, right? Now, the thing with me is I'm a business here. If I wasn't the business, I would just ignore all the drama and just create, even if people were coming at me. But I'm a business. It affects me differently than other people that are just creating out here as a hobby, right? There's a difference between being a YouTuber and running a business out of it and just running a YouTube channel as a hobby, right? Being a YouTuber, business, running a YouTube channel, hobby, right? You see those clouds? It was sprinkling a little bit earlier, but it's not supposed to rain, so I should be good throughout my entire walk. I should be good. Dawn, hey, beautiful lady, says GLM. GLM, I got your comment while Don and I were out running errands a little bit ago. Can you folks hear me and see me clearly, babe? Can you put a 1 in the chat just to make sure you can hear me and see me clearly? So, I've got to tip my hat to my girlfriend, Dawn. Thanks, babe. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Dawn says 1. I've got to tip my hat to my lady, who's come a long way. I mean, I'm at a loss for words regarding how truly proud I am of her. And a lot of people might think it's staged and stuff. This is not staged. We don't stage things over here at the GNA. We've never staged anything, right? But we understand why people are going to think we're staged, because most people stage things on YouTube for the clicks and the money and all that, right? Okay. This is the rawest and realest you're going to get, not only on YouTube, but probably the entire internet. And maybe that's one of the reasons why we haven't been making a lot of money doing it, because we're so raw and real. We're not willing to fake things or lie about things or attack people in order to create enough outrage to get more traction and then make more money, right? Like many or most other people on the internet do, right? But I'm really proud of Dawn, because she's completely turned her life around, and she did it because she wanted to do it. Nobody forced her to do it. She decided to finally do it. And that's what it takes. If you want to make a change for the better, you have to decide to do it on your own before anyone can even offer to help you, right? You have to be open to help before anyone can even offer to help you, right? And so, Dawn has been clean and sober for over a year, despite, a lot of hateful people on the internet here on YouTube continuing to pretend to criticize her. They call her a drunk and this and that, right? And we see those comments, and you want to know something? Those comments don't affect us, right, babe? Right. We're laughing at those comments right now because both Dawn and I have realized that the people that are saying those things when they're not true, because Dawn has completely turned her life around, those are people that wish they could be in our shoes. Those are people that are probably drinking a lot, right? Getting drunk all the time. They're miserable. They're unhappy, right? And they're seeing someone like Dawn turn it around, and simply they just want to be like her. And they could be like her. They could turn their life around like her, right? Another thing, people are criticizing Dawn about some honest mistakes she made in the past regarding her record. We've talked about it many times. I'm not going to go into detail on it here. But Dawn and I have always been transparent about everything, because we want people to learn from our mistakes, right? We want people to learn from our mistakes, right? And sometimes, no matter how many times you talk about something and you're not holding back or hiding anything, some people, as part of their content, some people like to try to keep bringing it up because apparently they have nothing else to bring up, right? These people make me want to be better every day. And same here, babe. You know what? That's absolutely the best way to put it, right? And realistically, babe, and GLM and anyone else that's here right now, realistically, the more and more people attack you, the more and more people attack you, the stronger you become. Yeah, thanks, babe. I appreciate that. That's not a big deal, babe. Babe, you know what? You know what only really matters? What really matters is what we put out into the universe, right? That's what matters, right? What other people may be putting out in a negative light, that's on them. It's their choice, right? But, babe, like I've always said, and people know this, every choice you make has consequences, right? Every choice you make has consequences. Of course it matters that you and GLM are here, right? And it matters. We got 14 other people here right now. We got 12 other people between you and GLM. We have 14 total. And that's good, right? And it goes to show that these are people that want to be here and they're tired of drama. They're tired of the outrage. They're tired of hearing the same old things, right? And here's the thing, for me, I would rather have far fewer viewers and real viewers where I don't have to create outrage to get more viewers that are only here because I'm getting severely outraged, right? That's just that's how I feel about it. Somebody's playing In Too Deep, Back to the Hotel, V-Town. GLM knows that, In Too Deep, right? When they were saying V-Town, that's Vallejo here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And they were saying 80 West because I-80, Interstate 80 runs I-80 runs east and west through there. Okay. That's great. So, anyway. It is what it is. We take things in stride, we learn from our mistakes, we become stronger. Thank you so much to the 22 people that are here right now. Thank you for choosing to not be a part of drama. And babe, don't worry about anything. It's going to be all good. It's going to be all good. Tia, how's it going? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. It's a nice night. It's a little chilly. It's about 52 degrees. Got my gloves on. And yeah, it's a non-drama stream tonight. We're just relaxing. We're chilling. And I'm just asking you folks if you're tired of the drama like myself. I'm completely tired of the drama. It's it's played itself out, right? It's played itself out. And you know, like Don and I have been talking about since the end of last year. And by the way, episode number 42 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast was released today. So check that out on the main channel. Go below in the description, a couple lines down. GNA, Genuine Personal Development. And Don and I were talking about this towards the end of last year and going into the new year. You folks can make a choice to be drama-free. You folks can choose to start to support positivity instead of negativity, right? That choice is up to you. You get to choose what you want to support, what you want to watch, right? What you want to believe in. Hey, Lewis, how you doing? Welcome to the show. It's great to see you here. Give me a sec. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me and see me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me and see me. Sorry about that. My phone froze and I had to, well, the YouTube app froze and I had to restart it. I apologize for that. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me and see me clearly. Thank you, babe. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally. Yeah, and babe, yeah, we're all good. Everything is all good. I just want us to focus on our show here and not worry about any other distractions for everyone. So, but yeah, you know, it's become pretty draining. I'm not gonna lie, folks. Like, and I'm not trying to create drama. I'm just trying. All I've been trying to do is make people aware out here on YouTube who I actually am, and to not listen to the mountains and mountains and mountains of things that are being said by other people that are simply not true, right? But, you know, even after a certain point, when you make your point, Lewis says one. Thank you. Hey, how's it going, Lewis? You know, when you make your point so many times, because people keep on saying things about you that aren't true and it affects your reputation, at some point, one side has to stop. Or one side will just automatically start to lose steam, right? And for me, it's never been about creating steam for drama. For me, it's been about creating steam to correct the record of my reputation, right? And while it still saddens me that there are many people out here that know who I really am. And they know that I'm not a harmful person. They know that I'm a good, decent, down-to-earth person. And they know what I've been through. it does sadden me a little bit that people still continue to spin or participate in the same narrative, you know. And maybe because when people belong to a group, good, bad, or indifferent, like let's say you're a part of a group and their agenda is to paint someone in a negative light constantly, right? And let's say you know that the person they're trying to paint in a negative light is actually a good person. You know that for a fact, but you're still a part of that group. And if you don't go along with the agenda of that group, which is to continue painting that person in a negative light, then you're going to get excommunicated from the group, right? You're going to be removed, right? And you know, I'm here to come out and say, again, I'm not here to tell anyone where to go or what to do or who to support and who not. But if you're that conflicted, I'm waiting for some people to pass on by. If you're that conflicted between what you know is right and what you feel you need to do to maintain status in a certain group, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think a lot of people are dealing with that, not only on YouTube, but all over the internet where they have these types of groups, right? And the truth of the matter is this, you know, I was talking about it earlier in my stream from the studio. Go check it out in case you missed it. I was talking about it earlier, right? That the people that are running these drama groups are performing. It's absolutely a performance, and it doesn't necessarily mean that's who they really are in real life. And I've learned to understand that over the past several years, right? Initially, 8 years ago, I didn't even understand what trolling was on YouTube. I had to learn all that. Now I understand it. But then I also had to learn to understand, why do some YouTubers do certain dumb things as their content? I've learned to understand that. I've learned to understand they're performing for their audience. And some people take performing way too far, a bit too far or way too far, right? Because when they start to lose traction or they feel they're losing the narrative that they've tried to create that kept their audience around, they have to amp it up, and they have to keep amping it up in order to keep that narrative going, right? It's just a sad thing that's happening on the internet nowadays. And you know, the algorithm rewards outrage. The algorithms reward outrage. So it's almost like I can't even blame the people that create outrageous content constantly. I can't even blame them for doing it. And that's why Chris Cuomo, all last year, and I'm sure he'll start talking more about it again this year, Chris Cuomo is the only other person that the social media companies need to be held more accountable, and they need to start to more so enforce a lot of this outrageous content that is just ridiculous and very hateful and harmful and abusive and just every negative word I can think of. It's really bad, right? But they don't do it because the people that watch this type of content make up half of YouTube. Can you imagine how much revenue YouTube would lose if they just started enforcing things in the ways that they really should be enforcing them, right? profits would immediately dip at least 50%, right? And when you're looking at, when you're looking at a $500 million a year plus company, and for you to cut this all off, which I believe is the right thing to do, or at least, enforce it a little more strictly, it would cost them at least $250 million, $250 billion, right? And this is the thing. Like, I love YouTube, and I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at YouTube, right? YouTube's following the law. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act here in the United States shields social media companies from getting sued when there are issues with people in between people that are using the platform. You have to basically, if you have an issue with someone on the platform, you have to sue them in civil court, right? They won't even take a defamation report here in the U.S. Every other country, for the most part, you go to YouTube's website, and I've shown this before, and in every other country, you basically can fill out a defamation form, and if they see it as defamation, they'll remove the content. Here in the U.S., that option is not available. It says, pursuant to Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act, we do not, adjudicate defamation or something like that. And basically, in other words, they're saying, in fancy legalese, they're saying your only option is a civil lawsuit, right? They don't say it exactly like that, but that's what they mean, right? So for someone that's being bullied and harassed and exploited and defamed and all that, right? And you're here in the U.S., your only option is suing anyone that's violating you in that way in the civil court. That's why after 6+ years of dealing with this with the same person and his group, that's why I had to assert my civil rights by filing a case in a civil court. And I really wish there were better ways to handle this. I really wish the platforms would be quicker and easier to enforce when people are violating your copyright. I also wish there wasn't a system where people could file a counter notification, and if you don't file a lawsuit within 10 business days, they reinstate the content. Now that's copyright law. YouTube's just following copyright law, but it's a flawed system where people that abuse your copyright here in the US and where people, defame you for dollars, most of the time they're going to get away with it. Unless you sue them directly in federal copyright court, or you sue them in a state civil, full-blown state civil case, right? You really don't have any options besides that. Those options need to change, and that's one thing that the GNA is going to fight to change. That's one thing that I'm probably going to start sending emails and writing letters to Congress to really start to push a revamping of Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. I think the platforms need to be held not completely responsible, but also they need to have some of the responsibility. So, right now, the social media companies like YouTube, have no responsibility for people defaming me or me defaming them or whatever, right? Just for here in the U.S., right? So it's not that we would want to repeal Section 230 to hold them completely responsible, but there has to be a happy medium. There has to be at least a partial responsibility for the platforms. And what would that be, in my opinion? How would that look like? If I'm going to make something If I'm going to state something like this, then I'm also going to state a solution, because, like Chris Cuomo says, a lot of people talk about the problem, but they never come up with a solution. So what would the solution be, right? So you basically start to moderate defamation here in the U.S., just like you do in every other country, right? You give YouTube an opportunity to remove clear-cut defamation here, and then if they don't remove it, not only can you sue the person that's defaming you, you can also sue YouTube additionally, right? Now, YouTube's not going to want to get sued, and I love YouTube. I don't want to sue YouTube. I'm just saying that the fact that there's no accountability here in the U.S. on social media for defamation, unless you sue them in a full-blown civil case, right? So in essence, you either have to be able to afford an attorney that can represent you, or you have to figure out how to do all the work yourself pro se, which is what I've done, right? And even then, it's a lot of work. It's very time consuming, right? Thank you so much to the 32 people that are here. Thank you for choosing to be here. You know, to the people that are here right now and you're choosing to be here, okay? You're welcome to be here. And honestly, some of you may be blocked. I can unblock you. We can unblock you. We can be reasonable and civil with you, and you can chat here. And all you have to do is email me, eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. I still haven't set up the new emails. I've had the domain for over a year. I just paid renewal fees for gnanetwork.org and gnanetwork.com, but I'm still using right now eliasmelas at genuinenetworkingassociation.org. You can email me, and I'd be happy to unban you. I'd be happy to have you speak in our chat without fear of being removed, unless you simply break our rules. No hating, no attacking, no trolling. If you want to come over here and even challenge what I'm saying respectfully, no problem, right? Just let me know. All you have to do is let me know. I know there are many of you out there. I know there are many of you out there that have been watching this story for years. Maybe some of you have only been around for a few months or for half a year or so. And maybe you're starting to realize that I'm not who these people say I am. That's not me. I'm not what this group of people is saying that I am. Neither is my girlfriend, Dawn. But have I made mistakes? Yeah. Has Dawn made mistakes? Who hasn't made mistakes? Who hasn't made mistakes? Right? I mean, these people are the quickest to point out every one of our mistakes, but when we point out their mistakes, they discredit it and say, oh, you're just projecting, or you're full of it, and prove it, and oh, whatever, right? And the truth of the matter is, I think many of you are starting to realize that some of the drama groups you've been a part of are all one big performance, right? Right? They're all one big performance. And guess what? You know who the act is? You're the act. The act should be the actual creator, but you're the act. Because what you're doing is you're dogpiling with constant insulting and defamatory comments in the comments section, right? So are you really supporters, or are you actually the act, right? The act is supposed to be the person on stage, which is the creator. But when you're dogpiling in the comments, you're the act. And the creator becomes an emotionally overreactive orchestra conductor, in my opinion, right? Orchestrating this whole thing, right? I'll tell you this. Every piece of content that I do and Don do, we're the act. Now, we're not an act, that's a figure of speech. The act is a figure of speech for whether someone's acting or being real on stage. Like, it's the purpose of our content here is to help people, right? The purpose of our content here is to help people, and we're on the stage to help people. Other drama group leaders, the purpose of them being on stage is to conduct you to dogpile in the comment sections with insults and defamatory statements, right? And I think some of you, many of you, are probably tired of that. Put a 1 in the chat if everyone here, I mean, we're not offended anymore, but we're just, it's become really boring. It's become really even seeing people dogpile these drama channels comment sections with hateful comments and insults and defamatory statements and sexualized statements and all that. Put a 1 in the chat if that's become old and boring to you, because it's become old and boring to me. Lewis Fuller says 1. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don says 1. Tia says 1,000, right? We all have choices in life, right? And look, I get it. Some people just love the shit show, right? I can understand that. But when it's the same shit show on repeat with nothing new, the same thing spun 1,000 different ways is still the same thing, right? It's still the same thing, right? All right, let me wait for people to pass on by. Okay. Give me. All right. We are back live. We are back live. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me. Put a 1 in the chat. I hope it's working well now. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me, please. Yeah, I'm sorry, folks. I have been screen recording. Thanks, babe, for the 1. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally done. No, I need to offload. When I got this phone, it's the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's still a good phone. I've got iOS 26 on there, right? The latest version. It runs well. But I've been screen recording so many things lately, I need to offload stuff to my external hard drive. I have the maximum memory you could get on the iPhone 12 Pro Max was, half a terabyte, 512 gigabytes. So I have 512 gigabytes on my hard drive, and I still have like over 100 plus gigabytes free. But when you start getting, even to like less than 25% of your available space, sometimes when you do video and stuff, this happens on any device, mobile device, laptop, desktop, any type of device, right? You want to always try to have as close to, you want to have at least probably like 35 to 50% of your hard drive free, because files move around easier, right? So I'm sorry about that, folks. I apologize. I had to restart, and it should be fine for the rest of the phone, and I'll offload my files later tonight, tomorrow, before the next stream. It won't be a problem. But yeah, again, if you folks want to be a part of this, if you want to be a part of a good community, if you want to be on our podcast, we would love to interview you on our podcast. We would love to have you participate in our live streams. And you know what? No obligation. You don't have to donate. You don't have to super chat. You can if you want. But we're not going to chastise you if you don't. Right? I'm one that can never be forced into buying anything. I buy when I'm ready. And typically I buy things after I'm able to try a product for a while. I like it. And then I want to keep using it, right? So come here and use us like a free sample. And see how it feels to be over here compared to be in the chaos all the time, right? I'll tell you, one thing I'm proud of, I've never been a two-faced type of person, right? I've never been two-faced, right? But have you ever noticed, if you follow any drama groups, have you ever noticed that not only are most of the drama creators two-faced, they're multi-faced. They're more than two-faced. They're like 10-faced, right? But the figure of the figure of speech was what I'm trying to say. The figure of speech, two-faced, is okay. There are some people that will play the drama group, and then they'll also play the non-drama group at the same time, right? And I've seen that happen in many, many drama groups. I've seen people that want to be a part of the drama, but also want to be a part of no drama. Now, let me ask you folks in the chat, what are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about that? Is it possible for somebody to be a part of the drama communities and to be a part of the positive, uplifting communities? Or do you feel that people have to make a choice? If they truly want to better their lives, do you feel they need to make a choice that includes ridding themselves of all drama, and that means no more drama shit shows or supporting drama shit show creators on YouTube, right? I'm curious to hear your thoughts about that. Tia says, so many lies and negativity has been drilled in their heads. I think that's a long shot. They enjoy that. Yeah, but Tia, should it really matter? Thank you. Yeah, that's the email. Thank you, Lewis. Appreciate you sharing that. I get where you're coming from regarding that, Tia. I totally understand where you're coming from. Like, they're used to it, and it's become a part of their life to where they're emotionally sucked in and attached in that group, right? But that doesn't mean they're stuck there. No one is stuck anywhere. People can get up and go anytime they want. And I think when it comes to negativity, I think once people are ready to become more positive, they will automatically just rid themselves of anything and everything negative, online and offline, including YouTube drama groups, right? I firmly believe it's a choice that people make, right? It's a choice, right? We choose every single day where we spend our time, where we focus our time and energy, right, Tia? We choose every day where we focus our time and energy, right? So these people are choosing to focus their time and energy on drama content. even when they know most of it's not true or highly exaggerated, and even when they know, or at least have some idea that the content is harmful, not only to them, but to other people that those creators are using as their content. Because, as we know, drama people, they amplify things out of context as their product, right? That's their product. That's what they're selling, right? They're selling negativity, right? What's up, ODN? How are you doing? You want to know something, ODN? To answer your question, here's the thing, ODN. Anyone can be forgiven at any time. And many people in my head, ODN, have already been forgiven. Probably most people have been forgiven, right? Even the people that I feel have harmed me the most in my head, I've forgiven them all, right? You want to know why, ODN? Because forgiveness comes from deep within. I'm a man, so I'm just going to say a man that forgives, but women can forgive too. I'm just speaking about men, and I'm a man. A man that can forgive his worst enemy is what a real man was made to be. Because here's the thing, ODN, if you can forgive your worst enemy, that doesn't mean you're going to let them off the hook, especially, for example, like in a court case. That's not going to change anything, ODN. What I'm saying is, in my head, a real man should be able to forgive his worst enemy. And I do. That doesn't mean I'm not going to stand up for my rights. Of course, I'm going to continue standing up for my rights. But when you can forgive your worst enemy, you can forgive anyone. And because life is too damn short, says Lewis, I forgive the people that hurt me and have forgiven them. And I have moved on because I can't hate people for the rest of my life because life is too damn short. You know what, Lewis? God bless you. I've really appreciated having you around lately, man. You're always welcome. You've known that, Lewis. You've known you'll always be a mod here. And I got to start to communicate more with the regular GNA moderator group. I just haven't had the time, and I need to make the time. But I really appreciate you being here and saying the wonderful things you've been saying in the chat. ODN says, won't catch me breaking bread with my enemies. ODN, here's the thing. You won't catch me breaking bread with them either, ODN. That's not what I said. Listen carefully. You won't catch me breaking bread with my enemies. I won't hang out with them. I won't support them. But I'll forgive them, ODN. Forgiveness doesn't require you to do anything beyond just saying, you know what, I forgive you. It's time to move on. You go do your thing. I'm going to do mine. Hey, no. And if they're continuing to harm you, you can still forgive them, but you can also still hold them accountable at the same time. It will never be forgotten. What will never be forgotten, Tia? Just kind of curious. ODN 100 ODN says Tia. What will never be forgotten, Tia? Just kind of curious. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. You know, here's the thing I want to share with everyone also here, right? I've shared this before and I'll share it again. I'm going to say this and I'm going to start to wrap it up. We're at 53 minutes and it's probably below 50 degrees right now, but I've been walking around. I'm warmed up and I have my gloves on. My lady says 100. Things that people do that you can forgive but not forget. No, you're right. I'll never forget. No. Yeah, absolutely. I never said I would forget, but we can forgive. It takes a much stronger person to forgive than to not, right? Forgiveness shows strength, right? Forgiveness shows strength without having to prove anything besides just forgiving someone. You don't even have to say it out loud. You don't even have to tell them. You can just forgive them in your head, right? And ODN says, I respect you for being able to forgive. I appreciate that. ODN, that means a lot. I appreciate that. Don't worry, ODN. I'm never going to forget. And I'm not going to let things go where things still need to be held accountable, right? But I can still, in my head and heart, forgive and say, hey, you know what? I'll forgive my worst enemy, right? That doesn't mean I'm gonna let my worst enemy destroy me. I'm still gonna protect myself in any way that I can, including court. But I can't forgive because that's my nature. It's been so dang warm here. It's been like in the 60s or 40s, and then in the afternoon it's been like in the 70s and 80s. Oh, wow. Yeah. So, yeah, just putting it out there in general. I can forgive anyone. I can forgive anyone. Even people that have created harm, as long as they stop the harm. And, well, I mean, I'll forgive them regardless, but I can also allow people to come back and be a part of our group here and chat in our chat and unban them and all that stuff, right? As long as they're willing to play by the rules and be respectful, right? But even if they're not, then I can still forgive them and say, hey, we're just not meant to associate or participate in things together. That's just the way it is sometimes, right? It's not even winter, it's springtime. I got to tell you, folks, I've been creating a lot of content lately. Between pretty much doing 2 streams almost every day, and then on Sundays doing an extra piece of content with the podcast. And more than likely, I probably will not be doing an in-studio stream tomorrow. I'll probably be doing a walk, and I'm going to try to get out on a walk earlier. I'm actually almost done with my continuing education. I had a total of 4 courses to do. I've finished 3 courses, and I have 1 more to do. It's online, so everything's online now, which is great. But I've got 1 more course to do, and then I have to pay almost $400 to renew my licenses for 2 years. In the state of California, I believe it's the same as last year or 2 years ago. Sorry, it's every 2 years. $388 because I have both licenses. I have a property and casualty and a life and health license. So it's a dual license. So it's dual fees and more continuing education. It's 24 hours every renewal period. So I've almost got that done. So I'm ahead of the game. And then I've got to start to prepare for the first hearing in the circuit civil case, which is going to be the first week of February. We're about 3 or so weeks away from that. I gotta prepare some notes for that, and also I've got to submit some things to the court. I'm going to prepare everything that's been put to private, and I'm going to proactively file it with the court to replace the links that were broken for the defendant when he decided to file his filings by attaching my public YouTube video links. That wasn't the smartest thing to do, in my opinion. I always self-host my own links. You should never, ever, ever add anything to a court document like a website link that can become broken, or that can be moderated by a platform, or that can be removed and be taken down. You need to download the content, host it yourself somewhere else, like a Dropbox or something. That's not what he does. He takes the easy way out, but that's okay. I'm going to replace his links with the exact original copies hosted on my website. He can verify them with the transcripts that he already has, that they're the same thing. And here's the thing. The only reason why he shared those links is because he wants to corroborate what was said. He wants to corroborate the quotes that he put in his documents. The quotes are still going to be the same. If you actually used what was in the stream, unless he misquoted me, then that's a different story. But all I have to do is swear under penalty of perjury and include a sworn preservation statement, sworn video and preservation statement. And that's me saying under penalty of perjury, this is the original. And that's that. And then we'll put it in the hands of Judge Stacy. We are at 59 minutes. Babe, get your quote in. Do you have a quote? Love you, babe. If you have a quote, get it in now. I'm going to go off the air in a few. I want to come home and have some dinner and watch some shows with my lady. Respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don says, positive people avoid negativity, not out of fear, but out of respect for their own peace. Have a good one, y'all. Positive people, respectfully, maturely, and professionally, says, positive people avoid negativity, not out of fear, but out of respect for their own peace. Have a good one, y'all. I want to mention one more thing here real quick. Before we go off the air. I'm not going to go into detail, but apparently the person who was responsible for screen recording my civil harassment order case that I filed as the petitioner on the Florida lady, okay, where she appeared on Zoom with two witnesses, and one of those witnesses was the wife of someone that is known out here as, at least in my eyes, Coach J. He posted in this community wall, I believe it was yesterday, and he put out there that he's the one that recorded it and he said it happened 2 years ago. Well, it happened 11 months. Sorry, it happened 13 months ago. It was December 2024, and he also said that he didn't consent to the California recording laws or the California law, and he's trying to say he's in a different state and he can't be held accountable. Well, maybe we'll talk more about that another time. I just wanted to put it out there that he publicly admitted he was the one that did it. And that's how arrogant. These people are not cocky. Like the defendant in my case that runs a drama channel and a drama group, and same with this Coach J guy. These guys are not cocky. They're beyond cocky. These guys are arrogant. These guys are so arrogant where they think they're above the law, right? Until the law catches up to them. And if you missed my stream from earlier, I mentioned I got a reply back from the San Mateo County court, and the person that got my request said that they're forwarding it to the right administrative department for further review. Okay, I mean, that still doesn't mean they're going to do something, but hey, I got further than I thought I would. I actually got a response. I actually got a response when I filled out the form. So that's that. Love you all. Leaving 29 in the box, 13 thumbs up, 62 minutes, an hour, and 2 minutes. Have a good one. Go back and watch the other stream. Also, go and watch the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast between now and tomorrow or the next few days on the main channel. Links below in the description of the main channel. Episode number 42 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast was released earlier this morning. Have a good one. Tia says, yeah, hey, Sandra Palacio. Good night to you as well. Good night, all. Great to see you here, Sandra. Love you all. Have a good night, everyone. And see you all tomorrow, hopefully from the trail earlier.